So if you've been diagnosed with POTS or dysautonomia, but then also diagnosed with a food sensitivity, gluten, casein, eggs, whatever that may be, we see that that's a common feature of a lot of autonomic syndromes. In fact, when we see paperwork come in and people don't have food sensitivities, we're usually shocked when we're asking, like, are you sure you don't have it? And that's really important because the same things that cause problems, especially with blood flow, hemodynamics in the brain, symptoms that we have with hypoperfusion, also cause symptoms relative to hypoperfusion in the gut. A lot of people will tend to feel better, especially in the initial phases, when you remove those foods from the diet. It takes some of the load off, makes it a little bit easier. But one of the things that we've observed is that once we take one thing out and then we replace that with a new food, we become sensitive to a new food. And then that kind of is a pattern that keeps existing over and over until we end up with people that have very strict diets, very concise diets where we're down to just a couple foods that they're able to tolerate. And that's actually not good. Number one, it's going to affect your digestion, but it also affects your overall health, the way that you're able to absorb the foods that you eat, and the way that you're able to pull nutrient out of food. When looking at it, do we want to look at it as we're going to try to solve this sensitivity by just taking it away? Or do we want to try to solve for an underlying problem, the problem that generates it in the first place? And if we can solve for that and we can allow someone to actually heal their gut again and to be able to tolerate foods again, that becomes very useful. So it's just kind of a chicken or the egg problem where do we want to try to solve for the sensitivity by removing the food and hoping that that's just enough to resolve it? Or do we go after the underlying mechanism so that we can have a gut that actually functions appropriately again? And that's the problem we try to solve for.